So then we move to another important item. Called item 7.01 and 8.01. So why this is important? Because you see the earlier classification is very clear, right? If it's contract, you go to that one. If it's a financial news, you go that one. So the reason the 7.01 and 8.01, they are very powerful because the classification of these two items is very vague and ambiguous. So basically, what does that mean is the managers can dump a lot of news into this 7.01, 8.01, because you see other classification is very clear. It's contract, it's financial news, it's bankruptcy. So you cannot dump news to that sections. But 7.01 and 8.01, these are the sections, it's kind of other news, kind of, okay, you can just, managers can put a lot of different stuff in these two items. So that's why it's AK is disproportionately large for these two items. You can see that if you pull out all the AKs, the 7.01, 8.1, they have a large number of findings in these actions items because managers can do a lot of news just dumping into these two. So what's the definition of this 7.01 and 8.1 exactly? And let me just give you guys some ideas. So the 7.01 is a very interesting concept. So what does that mean is, so the company sometimes disclose material news to the company. And we have to talk about some concept called Reg FD. So what is Reg FD? Reg FD starts from the 2000, around 2000. That means if manager disclose the news to analyst or hedge fund manager, and the manager has to disclose the same information to the rest of the capital market in 24 hours. That's called the fair disclosure. So what FD means fair disclosure. So what does happen? That means, you guys know, before 2000, people play golf, right? People like karaoke, right? People like play games. So the managers, they hang out with hedge fund managers, they hang out with analysts. These hedge fund manager analysts get a lot of private information from hanging out with the corporate managers. It's not fair. It's not fair. So after 2000, the SEC regulated this. So that's called a regular FD. And the rule is, if you give any tips to hedge fund manager, you got to give the same tip publicly to everyone within 24 hours. Otherwise, we will track you down and you have facing penalty. So that's called a fair disclosure. I hope that makes sense to everyone. So basically, the golf time is gone. The party time is gone. The karaoke time is gone. So basically, before the analysts and hedge fund managers can socialize with manager, get private information. But after Reg FD, the manager, once they tip the hedge fund manager, they have to tip everyone. So the 7.01 is the place for them to disclose. So if I give a hedge fund manager some important information, I have to disclose the same information in the 7.01 within 24 hours when I'm tipping the hedge fund managers. We want to make the world fair, right? We want to leveling the playing field. That's the purpose of 7.01. So 7.1. So that's why this one is very broad defined. Why is broad defined? I can disclose anything here, right? Even if I don't disclose the thing to hedge fund managers, as long as I want the capital market to know what is going on, I can put the news here. So the 7.01 is kind of very generally defined. So as long as manager want that shareholders know anything, they can just put the news in the 7.01. Does it make sense? So that's just this is not well defined. It's like the original purpose is what? Original purpose is wherever the corporate manager tip hedge funds, they have to put the same information here. But managers using this in a different way, as long as they want to disclose some news, they can just put here that everyone know. So a lot of information you can find here is a conference call. So if a conference call, so so you can see that so you can see a lot of information is conference call. So for example, the press release, any press release, blah blah blah, any information company think material, they can just disclose here. Just the mindset is what? Instead of let hedge fund knows and let everyone knows. So I can avoid legal issues. So this is a 7.01. And then you can see that. So this is an example of sample one. So the Starbucks announced the leadership promotion to drive continued purpose-driven growth. So blah, blah, blah. So they have several leadership appointments. So you can see that this kind of leadership appointment you can find in the 7.01. But it's, again, an appendix. 7.01 also have exhibit 9901. So you have to go to 7.01, and then you have to go to exhibit, and you have to get the information. It's not straightforward, right? You have to go to the 7.01, and you find its exhibit 9901, and then you crowd this information out, and you get the information. So this is stuff. And then you can see that another information is a lot of stuff here. So what is 8.01? The 8.01 is interesting. Anything else you don't think fall into the above category goes to 8.01. That's very interesting, right? So every category is well defined. Even 7.01 is also well defined, because 7.01 is if you want everyone know the information. If you don't want to tip the hedge fund manager, you want to have everyone know this material information, you give it a 7.01. But what is 8.01 is if it doesn't belong to all above category, you put in 8.01. So this is a more interesting category. So basically, company can do a lot of stuff here, right? As long as manager believe, he doesn't believe the above category, I can put here. And one interesting thing I can tell you guys is even the 7.01 is well regulated. So SEC will read this 7.01 and make sure everything is compliant with the SEC regulation. But 8.01 there's no one regulated. So we talk to SEC, we check the SEC policy. They kind of don't care. The SEC kind of, okay, as long as other categories you are doing a good job, 8.01, whatever you want. So this is from the SEC regulation and from their practitioners from their practice. This 8.01 is very less regulated. There's no much regulation about this, and the SEC do not put a lot of scrutiny on this. So this is very interesting item we'll talk about later on. We will show you a case. The manager is manipulating this item. Okay, this is kind of one news. The managers can manipulate that. So it's 1.8.1 is very interesting stuff. Like a manager put a lot of stuff in this item, and there's less monitoring from SEC, and we'll talk about that. And so you can see that what's the example, like share repurchase, right? Share repurchase, they announce share repurchase, they put 8.01. They could put in a 7.01, right? Why they put, so between 7.01 and 8.01, the same news, share repurchase, they could have put a share repurchase in 7.01, but why they put 8.01? So later on, we'll give you guys an example. There's some manipulation going on. There's some distortion going on with this item. And someone retired, some global business expansion. So you can find all kinds of news from these kind of other items, all kinds of news. And so you can see another interesting stuff, which you can see is you can find the product information here. So let's say Apple just want to develop a new iPhone, where you can find information, 8.01 or 7.01. So basically the company disclosed the new product release in this kind of press release in the item 7.01 and 8.1. And many times they have pictures. So you can see that this company show that this is the product. And interesting, this is not a current product. Sometimes company disclose future product they have not manufactured. You can find that in the 7.01 or 8.01. Is that beautiful? Is that beautiful? Because sometimes you only know the existing product, you only know what is going on, you only know what's on the sales. But if you analyzing the AK 7.01, 8.1, you can find some product you will only see in 3 years or 2 years. That's that beautiful. So basically, this information, you can see that you can find the future product information from this press release. But you have to understand the data. You have to know how to passing them out to extract the information. So you can see that. So these are the items. These are the items. You can see they develop this product reactor in 2-3 years. So this is not available right now. The managers talk about the future product. And that's super important for investors and managers and our competitors as well. We talk about some of the case here. And item 9.01, it's a financial statement and exhibit. So it's kind of information about